So welcome back to Adobe live from off in Barcelona. And we're back here again with David Carson and Pom Pan joining us on Zoom for a portfolio review. So, Pon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? Where are you? What type of work do you do?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm a London-based illustrator. I'm from Taiwan, so I just graduated from synthesis marketing in 2021, from graphic communication design. So I just have been doing illustration for a year now. So it's mostly an editorial kind of illustration you will see on my portfolio website.
So we have your portfolio website open. So David,
Yes.
is there something special that you want us to look at, or actually, I'm going to let David do the work here. Yes.
Well, if we could kind of highlight what you specific pieces. Maybe we're kind of seeing the whole thing now. How best can I help you? Maybe that's another direction. I mean, I have to say, I'm big on overall first impressions, and mine would be good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a great body of work is what I'm seeing. And then if I have a very general comment initially, which I don't like to do because you never would see these for the most part with other pieces, but I'm on the lookout as we scroll through them for some different directions, somewhere he feels like you stretched a little bit more, or some, I didn't expect that, or look, he added some type, or whatever. It just, and that's like super kind of hypercritical, but just the way I would look at, especially scrolling through a lot of work, is does it look like he's stretched a few places and has a wide variety of directions he can go within what is clearly a strong talent and strong ability. It might be doing it a disservice to have them all together in here. I mean, I certainly like this moving one with the, of course it's going to get my attention in a bunch of still ones, but that's something I think could be really fun for you to explore more of, and even maybe more of the line drawing. You clearly have the color palette and illustration skills, and so maybe now, how can you stretch that even more, even a little more unique? I'm liking this one with the crosses, or they're not really crosses, but the red sticks.
Sorry, I can't stay on the website.
just can't get good help at this place,
Just like there we go.
So anyway, that I think there's something you could do more with your line drawing, explore a little bit, and not everything, but just. And then the one next to it, I'm seeing with the red kind of lines. There's something intriguing there. So you have a very distinct style and a great color palette. And now to get to that next level, I think you need to have a few more surprises and unexpected twists, and maybe less perfect some places to help you stand out even more. But certainly in a good place. And are there any specific ones you'd like me to comment on, or?
Because after doing editorial for a year now, so I've been really.
Yeah. Can we turn it up?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, so after doing editorial for a year now, I've been kind of try to expand my field. So try to expand on the yellow one is my latest self-initiated project about. On the right-hand side, top
See,
right.
this one with the car going up the hill.
The tuk-tuk.
What I like a lot about that is just the background. It wasn't solid, so there's some texture here, and it just, again, I'm looking for that thing that, if I know your work, I want to say, oh wow, look what he's doing now, or look how he stretched that, because clearly you're very talented in editorial design, like you're showing here. Now it's time to take it to that next level, and that's something. Only you could decide what that is. It's like, well, maybe this arm isn't going to be perfect as the other arm, or maybe I don't know what that is.
I just play with it.
Yeah, just to have a little more fun with it. You're very very proficient, very talented, and but I might have a hard time describing it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I want to, especially if I'm looking for work, I want to say, there's this guy who does this thing with line drawing or whatever it is. I don't know what that is yet. So that's super kind of ultra critical in a sense because you're very talented, but I still want to see a little more unexpectedness in
like some surprise.
Yeah. It doesn't mean everything has to be crazy or weird, but a few more like, whoa, look what he did here, and that I'm not feeling yet. And that's hypercritical, but I think you're at a level where you need to get to that next stage because you're extremely talented. This all looks very, very professional. Which work did you want to talk about?
Like about like the yellow one, like the people is like kind
this
of
one here?
pulling it. Yeah, this is one.
Okay. This
if you
looks
click
like an
it, it will
entirely
be
new
like
style.
more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what would your question be, or what?
So like when you see my previous like editorial illustration, like compared to this one, is it like anything you will like pick out or?
Okay, wait, let's go back.
Go back. Yes.
Well, I like it. I like the simplicity. I like that the figures aren't centered. The product is, and maybe that's something to think about too. You don't always want perfectly balanced, centered images. I mean, I'd want to see what does the bottle look like over on the left. Maybe it's in front of the figure on the left. Maybe it's over right. Maybe you tried that, but. Something a little unexpected, and it might even get stronger when you have some more white space or things not put in the obvious place. So that's where this one falls down a little bit, is of course the bottle is perfectly centered. And there's places for that. That's not always a bad thing, but here I think was such a great, I like the use of the yellow and there's a lot of it, and that's bringing this some real strength. The trick here is if you took this bottle off, it's a better piece. Now the trick is how can you add that bottle and make it a better piece? Right now, if we took that off, it's a great illustration.
Yeah, and maybe my question to that, Pan, is, is the illustration the label of the bottle and you just put them together, like you use the label as a background, or is this the whole, okay. So,
I redesigned the label.
Exactly. So I think if this is a label, it should really focus on that this is a label. Like, all the questions from David about not centering the bottle and things like that, they come from the fact that we didn't understand the image first, I think. Like the image is...
Okay, that's a good point.
And the image is the bottle, right?
One thing you could do from that, like I would try if I was working on the same thing, is take this background image and blow it up way so it's just an abstract color and hints of these people or whatever, and then it brings more attention back to the label. So right now they're kind of competing and your eye's not quite sure where to look. But you have the branding of the color and the figures here, blow them up even bigger, and then we're going to focus more on the label, and maybe it's clear that it's a label redesign or a label design, but it's just stuff to play with. They're not precious. You try a lot of things, but that's one I would definitely do, is look at that image in the background blown up 100%, 500%, and then you have the color, you have the branding happening, but our eye wants to go to the focused bottle and go, oh wow, cool label. So you have a really good start here if this was to be a real
I think yes, great
product.
Ideas, like to use the background in a more abstract way. And remember that people looking at your portfolio, only the very interested ones will start reading about the rest, right? So now I understand there was an old design, and you're thinking about it in a different way, and there's a whole story you're telling there. But the first image that the visitor will see is the one that tells the story, and that's the one that will make me want to know more, right? Or like most people, they will not scroll. Okay, they'll click through it, and they're looking for something very specific. So it's important to tell the story right off the bat.
And don't neglect some of your process. I think it would be pretty far from where you're at right now, but nothing that says some of those early sketches can't be included in this background too. It's all part of the process. So think of those as elements. I mean, I think I would encourage you to, it's so vague, but to maybe loosen up and have a little more fun, because you have the talent, you have all the stuff, and now it's just, yeah, we're just fine tuning some of that. So, yeah.
And Marsha from the chat is asking, how many images do you think a portfolio should like many or like a clear selection or something, like what does a portfolio need to?
Yeah, you know, there's no magic answer on that one, but it has so much to do with who's looking at it, and I think you have to customize it for each meeting or for each person you're sending it to, and kind of highlight what you think they would be most interested in, because you don't want to be known as somebody who can do everything kind of okay. Or otherwise you're going to be forgotten and not used as much. So there's no magic. You know, don't show anything you hate or don't want to be doing that kind of work. That's a bit obvious, but I think it really becomes more important to customize your portfolio to who's seeing it whenever you can.
And I'm back on your portfolio website now, and and what David just said, like there's a lot of like it's one style, I get it, but and then there is the yellow one, and it's great. I mean, I love this style, but how does it fit in with all of the other 99 things that are another style, And when people are looking for a style, especially art directors and publishers, they're looking for that one style. They're not looking for a selection of styles. They have an idea in mind, and they really need, to be laser focused on.
Let's go up. Yeah, I would agree with that. But the spectacle, is that your type?
Oh no, it's like a Cubist. It's a UK spectacle maker.
Okay, but that's your illustration?
Yeah, that's my illustration.
So
for
I'm
the
happy
cover
to see you having a little more fun with the line drawing there. I think that's something you could utilize more, in combination. And let's go to the one below it. I like the shadows. We're seeing some depth. Most of my collage work I've just photographed with my phone, and that allows me to get shadows and texture and shapes I wouldn't get if I just scanned it. So I'm liking here that you've put some depth into it, which I don't see in the others. Again, you wouldn't want to do that on all of them, but that's a very strong piece. It's, I like it. It makes me want to see more, and that's a good sign. So you're in a good place, and now the trick is to get it to that next level and kind of shake yourself up a little bit. Like, I wonder if because it does seem a bit formula now, and even as I'm looking at the two holding hands, looking at their phones, and then pouring the wine. For me, and that's a personal thing, I'm seeing it in other words. Oftentimes, symmetric things are the least interesting. And I would encourage you to, when you can, to think of asymmetric. Not always, but
there's a good example. Like there's a lack of symmetry.
Yeah.
And here we have the symmetry, and we can see right away what you mean.
In general, perfectly balanced things are the least interesting. From my perspective. Now, this close-up of some of the line drawings, that's great. It's like, I want to see more of this guy's work. But if we did, I wouldn't see much more of that. So maybe that's something you can explore and kind of develop into your own unique look. Again, the bottom line is you're in a really good place, and now the challenge to you is to take it now a little bit to the left.
How do you step forward?
Or the right. Yeah, exactly. You can keep doing this the rest of your career, but you don't want to do that. You want to take it to the next level. But wow, what a great starting point.
I was like at the top, like at the top of the illustration, like the website, there's like a sketchbook.
A sketchbook?
Like,
okay.
It's like where I put my experiments, like outside of like just the.
Ooh, yeah. See,
all right.
So that's where the crazy part goes.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
it's always the sketchbook. Come on, this is the homepage.
Don't hide or neglect these. I mean, again, kind of depending who you're showing it to, but right away, these are like, whoa, they're stronger, clearer. It's so subjective, but like the chairs are not so interesting to me. But the first three, like, whoa, okay, wow, I want to see more of what this guy's doing. So maybe it's some combination, or maybe it's simplifying certain sections. I mean, let's go back to the purple one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's although it's symmetric, what saves it is this odd color simplification. Yeah. It's really nice. Same thing with the chair. Yeah. I could see a furniture company wanting to do that look for their brochure. Let's go up. Love this can. I don't know what it's for, but I'd have one of those beers. Just has a good. It lends itself to T-shirts, really easy, and merchandise. Yeah. This stuff is, I have to say, is more exciting than where you started. Yeah, the guy on the left, the orange in the middle. This is exciting stuff. This is stuff people can, I think, remember easier, feels more unique in a sense, because this is your eye and your sensibility. And yes, you can do the realistic, perfect stuff you showed us to begin with, but take a look at this. A little more fun. Might fit your brand better, or because you're active, or you're fun, or you're youth, or whatever it is, or you're conservative and simple. But they lose something here without the color. But pretty formal sketches.
More sketches coming.
Well, I mean, I always say that sketches are part of the process. Always, and I think showing sketches is super important. Like that your ideation process actually starts, from your brain to your pencil. But yeah, like David, this is the stuff that's edgy. That's the stuff that I want to know more about. That I love this one here. The cutout person.
Yeah, and they kind of scream for some simple animation, and lend themselves well to certainly online and little. You'd find them small, and you don't need all the detail of some of the earlier work.
One last question, Pam.
I mean, you have to. Ultimately, you have to do what you enjoy doing. You can't force it. So hopefully, you've found another little direction that you're kind of excited about it, and don't be afraid to experiment with that.
Thank you so much. Because the sketchbook page you saw is really just kind of my recent experiments. So I just go crazy on the style and for the past few months.
Good.
So I hope it's going on some direction over there.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'd say keep going in that direction. That's exciting.
Thank you so much.
One last question.
Oh, I was just wondering, because you see now the portfolio is running like Illustrator, and how should I present if I want to get a more designer kind of job, a more design when I apply for design?
Well, for me, the obvious one is we need to see it working more with some type and some headlines and some words and a sentence or something. Right now, it looks strictly illustration, and you have more possibility for work and maybe more identifying your stuff. That's why I asked if you had done that title, because if you want, I think, get to the next step and more design and maybe graphic design, you absolutely need to start incorporating some type into some of them. Not necessarily all of them, but if somebody's wondering, well, yeah, but can he work with type? It's like, oh yeah, check these out. And that's not there. And it could be very simple. It doesn't have to be crazy and weird, but just something that your eye decides is working. So that's what's missing if you want to be known more than an editorial illustrator.
Yeah, so
and then at some point maybe you could add some of your own photos, or who knows where that goes. But right now it's very narrow. Editorial, it's what you described. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, these sketches with the color,
right?
I want that brochure. I want to flip through it, but I don't want to necessarily on the others.
All right.
But that's very subjective. So
let's see if there's any last questions from the chat here. No, just people saying hello from all over the world. So welcome to Adobe Live. And David, one last word for Pan.
Well, you're sitting really good, and it's great that you made this little thing happen, and you're here, and you're it sounds like you're already starting to stretch like we talked about. So keep doing that. Don't get lazy. I don't think you will, but you know, you said you've been playing in this other thing for the last few months. Keep going in that direction. See where that goes. That's exciting stuff. So you're in a good place.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us via Zoom here. And we will have one last portfolio review with David in about 8 minutes. Here, live from OFF in Barcelona with a guest standing right here with us. I think the guest has already arrived, and we will be looking at her portfolio. So see you in a bit, and stay tuned. Thank you, David, for that.
Thank you.